is going to be feeding them their lunch today, and we'll get on to what they're eating in just a moment, but let's start off by introducing you to our muster or group of storks. So we have got 3 sisters, but they have got slightly unusual names. So in front of you, you have got Keith, Kevin and Clam. You can tell them apart because Clam is a year older, so she actually has a yellow leg ring. She's over on the far left-hand side at the moment. We then have Keith in the middle. He has AO on her green leg band, and then Kevin is the one that's just flopping around trying to get her food on the right-hand side at the moment, and she has AN. As I say, they are sisters. Keith and Kevin are twins. They're now 3 years old, and then Clam is a whole year older, and she is 4. And in terms of storks, they're now kind of old teenagers. They're just getting to the time of year and the stage of their life where they are interested in finding themselves a boyfriend. And the way we know that is you might occasionally, as you're walking around today, hear them clattering their bills. They'll throw their heads back, snap their beaks together, and that is them clattering away saying, "We're in the area, boys, if anyone is around." Boys will also do it, but they'll tend to do it competing over nests, which I'll talk about in a second. So for their lunch, they do get fed 3 times a day, just like us, breakfast, lunch and dinner. For their lunch today, they have got some roach and some sand eels. We have also been joined by Bob the heron, who has learned everyone's feeding times and just likes to nip peanut. And they eat an awful lot of food, so they eat about 1 kilo of food between them in the day. And to put that into human terms, it works out the same as mummies and daddies eating about 8 large pizzas a day in calories. So it is an awful lot of food, and that's because out in the wild they would be spending all their time foraging around, moving around, trying to catch things. There is in fact 20 species of storks. So is anyone here 7 or 8 years old? You put your hands up if you're 7 or 8. So if you look at someone with their hands up, they are about the same height as our white storks. They are roughly in the middle because we go all the way down to abdims, and if you look at any adult's knees, they're about the same height as an abdim stork, all the way up to a marabou stork, which is just a bit shorter than me, so not much larger than these 3 here. These guys, of course, spend lots of their time in Europe, but they do also migrate down to Africa, which I'll get onto in a second. But probably the most impressive thing about them is the size of those nests that the boys compete over. So instead of building a new one each year, they just repair the ones that they've already built. And the oldest one was actually over 70 years old in Transylvania, and it was used every single year. But because they build on it, it gets really, really heavy. And the heaviest one they found earlier this year was actually 2.5 tons. So a car weighs about a ton, so we're talking about the same weight as nearly 3 cars. And they often build them on people's roofs, which doesn't go down very well. And it's one of the reasons that they have declined out in the wild, is lots of people used to go out and take the nests off their roofs because they didn't want their houses damaged, which is fair enough. Lots of countries have come up with lots of different ways of dealing with that. So in Poland, they have really heavily pushed that storks bring good luck, love, fortune, and they've really changed the image. So everyone loves the storks. In Czechoslovakia, the Czech Republic, they actually pay people £75 if a stork nests on your roof, so you can use it to repair your roofs. And in Spain, they have just gone down the hardcore route of you actually get sent to jail if you touch a stork's nest. So lots of different ways of protecting them. Once they have finished nesting, they'll lay 3 to 4 eggs. They sit on them for about a month, and out comes the baby. And the babies get the delightful dinner of mummy and daddy's vomit for the first 3 weeks. So the mums and dads will fly off, eat their dinner, come back, and throw up in their babies' mouths. Yummy! Once they're old enough, they will then fledge and they will make their journey back down to Africa for the winter. And because they don't flap like lots of birds, storks like to soar, they actually have a really long migration. So this is a picture of where they spend their summers, up at the top here, and then they go all the way down to Africa, but because they need to go over land, they can't go straight down. So it adds a good few extra 1,000 miles onto their journey so that they can save some energy using the thermals. They then get there and realise they're too hot. So storks have a disgusting way of cooling themselves down. They poo on their legs. And if you come here in the summer, they will also do it here. You'll see their legs go bright white in summer, and it's where they poo all down themselves on purpose, and it helps keep them cool. And then finally, while we talk about some of the amazing things that are happening here in the UK, we are all going to have a go at being a stork. Because once they get there, they've done their long migration, they need a good nap. So the way they do that is not by lying down, they stand on one leg. And they are so good at it, we use it as our military and Olympic fitness tests. And if you can do it for a minute, you are above average. So you need to stand on one leg, and the other one needs to make a triangle touching your knee. So you need to be doing some very good yoga poses. While you do that, I'm